while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. God's blessings upon his already blessed word. Looking at things you can't see. Looking at things you can't see. That sounds like a contradiction. At least it's a paradox. It appears to be contradictory. How am I supposed to look at something I can't see? Yet, this is what Paul says we do. We look at things that we can't see. Well, let me call your attention to another verse, Romans, the first chapter, and the 20th verse. Romans 1 and 20. It says, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Now we're challenged again to see things that we can't see. The invisible things. You know what invisible is? Huh? From the foundation or the creation of the world are clearly seen. Seeing that which is invisible. Looking at things that are not seen. Now, there's a verse of scripture. I won't have you turn there. It's very familiar. It says, for we walk by faith and not by sight. And of course, I know we understand even theologically that when it says sight, it's not talking about these physical eyes, but it really means our senses. We walk by faith and not by our senses. And some of us may act like we ain't got no sense sometimes. But most of us have 5 senses. We can see, we can hear, we can feel, we can smell, and we can touch. 5 senses. We are made aware of this visible, physical world that we live in by one or more, if not all, of those 5 senses. So when the scripture says we walk by faith, not by our senses, we are supposed to see, hear, feel something that I can't make contact with any of my senses. Are you praying with me? We're walking by faith. Well, But then when you stop and think about it, in our natural world, in our natural life, there are a lot of things we believe in, but we really can't prove their existence through our senses. And nobody ever saw electricity. But you believe in it. The smartest, the wisest of our minds, they can't tell you where electricity comes from, where it originated from. Long before man discovered electricity, it was here. I mean, even our natural human bodies run by electricity. I wish I had somebody. It is an electrical impulse generated in your brain that travels through your nerves. When you tell your hand to move, it's an electrical current flowing through your body, through those nerves that make your hand move. Man can't explain that. You can't explain it. Who put that electricity in there? Who regulates it? Oh, we have advanced enough that if your heart stops, they do have something they can put on your chest with an electrical charge. And shock sometimes that heart back to beating. But where did that electricity in your heart naturally so come from? We can't see the electricity, but we can see the effects. We see what it does. We see what electrical power is capable of doing. Running large machines and turbines. Now they're trying to make us a car. Economically as possible. That you just plug into an electrical outlet at night. Got to put no gas in it. Just charge the battery and take off. They're working on that because I'm scared of it because I just ain't that many electrical circuits along the highway. If I run out of gas, I can stop at a gas station. But electricity. But you know, it's human nature. And I believe it's a God-given attribute when it's kept in its proper perspective. Humans are curious. We want to know how things work. We want to be able to explain everything. Give me a logical reason why this thing functions. Reminds me of your pastor when we were boys together. And we get toys and different things. But when mom and dad would come in the room, they could always tell which toy was Jim's. Inevitably, he took it apart to find out how it worked. And most of the time couldn't put it back together again. He had that innate curiosity. As other boys, we just play with our toys. No, he had to see how this thing works. But that's human nature. But man, and following that curiosity, is always spending time trying to figure God out.